Amazon is firing its delivery corporations following people's deaths. Amazon has cancelled its contracts with 3 major delivery corporations, a move which will place over a pair of 2,000 folks out of labor and should signal a shift in however the web retail big plans to deliver several packages to homes across the country daily. Inpax Shipping Solutions, primarily based in Atlanta, has told employment regulators in 6 states that it'd lay off a minimum of 925 workers starting October, and would stop all delivery services for Amazon by early DEC, in keeping with government records. Another contractor, Sheard-Loman Transport, aforesaid in an exceedingly court filing late last month that its Amazon contract wouldn't be revived, a move that it referred to as completely sudden and a cause for serious concern, which is alleged would cause the firing of roughly 200 workers in 3 states. The firm, headquartered in Chicago, aforesaid it had stopped delivering Amazon packages on September 30th. And a third company, San Diego-based Letter Ride LLC, told labor authorities in Golden State and Lone Star State that in early DEC it'd begin peeling off 897 drivers, dispatchers and alternative workers. The contract terminations follow recent investigations of Amazon's invasive delivery network by BuzzFeed News and ProPublica, that centered on however the extreme monetary and point-in-time pressure Amazon puts on its growing fleet of freelance delivery contractors will cause employee pattern and threaten public safety. The news organizations documented deaths connected to every of those 3 contractors. In December 2016, a van driven by an Inpax worker hit and killed Telesfora Escamilla, an 84-year recent granny in Chicago. The driving force was charged with reckless kill, however ultimately clean-handed. A lawsuit brought by the family of the victim claims that Amazon place undue time pressure on Inpax and its drivers. The suit is unfinished and Amazon has denied responsibility. In Gregorian calendar month 2018, a 21-year recent Sheard-Loman driver, Traivon Ernest Hemingway, was killed once his van cut across many lanes of a expressway, conjointly in Chicago, before bally into a tractor-trailer. That same month, Stacey Hayes Curry, a 61-year-old legal secretary, was run over by a letter ride driver delivering Amazon packages within the point-of-entry workplace park wherever she worked. The driving force pleaded guilty to a violation charge of transport homicide. Curry's son, Tyler Hayes, aforesaid Amazon still must do additional to form its delivery system safe. I want Amazon would grade employee and pedestrian safety because it contracts out these last-mile delivery firms. However, I even have nevertheless to ascertain any try at rising safety, Hayes aforesaid in an email. It looks to solely need to cover behind third-party contractors as the way to flee responsibility. Amazon aforesaid in an exceedingly statement, we work with a range of carrier partners to urge packages to Amazon customers and that we often assess our partnerships. We've got complete our relationship with these firms, and drivers area unit being supported with opportunities to deliver Amazon packages with alternative native delivery service partners. As according by BuzzFeed News and ProPublica, Amazon began building out a network of delivery corporations within the U.S. in 2014. Instead of rent its own drivers, Amazon selected to use contractors like Inpax, Sheard-Loman and Letter Ride that successively use drivers. Though Amazon controls several aspects of delivery, all the way down to providing turn-by-turn directions for drivers, it denies all liability once staff area unit exploited or folks area unit hurt in crashes, going the contractor on the hook. Drivers for these corporations typically area unit needed to own any delivery expertise and are given simply a number of days of coaching before being placed on the road, sometimes in poorly maintained or broken vans with no markings to point they're carrying solely Amazon packages. Several drivers report being expected to deliver upwards of 300 packages every day, pressure that prompts some to skip lunch and to urinate in bottles. A number of the companies have struggled. A minimum of 3 Amazon delivery contractors have filed for bankruptcy protection since 2018, court records show. Meanwhile, drivers delivering Amazon packages are concerned in additional than 60 serious crashes, as well as a minimum of 10 that have resulted in fatalities. Various contractors are found by the DOL to own underpaid or otherwise exploited staff, federal records show. Amazon has relied on established supply corporations like Inpax, with giant fleets operational in multiple locations, to deliver several of its packages. However, within the past year, the corporate has shifted towards smaller corporations' understanding of only 1 or 2 delivery stations. Often, the homeowners of these newer firms haven't any expertise in delivery or as business owners, and a few consider loans from Amazon to start out their new firms. In a letter late last month to a few U.S. senators, Amazon disclosed that it's some 800 delivery corporations below contract. However, it refused an invitation from the lawmakers, Connecticut legislator Richard Blumenthal, Massachusetts legislator Elizabeth Warren, and Ohio legislator Sherrod Brown to supply the names of these corporations. Line that data proprietary. Sheard-Loman began delivering for Amazon in 2017, until recently operated out of locations in Illinois, LA and Maryland. Its House Owners Area Unit Jeffrey Sheard and Richard Loman, United Nations Agency is additionally a true real estate broker. Last Dec, Sheard-Loman and Amazon were named co-defendants in two federal lawsuits filed by drivers. United Nations Agency alleged the corporate had underpaid them and were seeking class action certification. In one amongst those cases, Settlement Talks Area Unit current and neither litigant has filed a response. Within the alternative, Sheard-Loman hasn't filed a response and Amazon has denied liability as a result of it wasn't the plaintiff's leader. A third employment suit was filed against Sheard-Loman in August in Territorial Division Court for the Northern District of Illinois. In a Sept. 26 filing therein case, the firm aforesaid Amazon had declined to renew its contract, however has not nevertheless more responsible the claims within the suit. In a temporary interview, Loman confirmed that Amazon had terminated its contract, and he aforesaid it had been unlikely the business would continue because the e-commerce big was his company's solely shopper. Court records show that Letter Ride, supported in 2015, has been sued a minimum of 13 times within the past 20 months over crashes or allegations of worker pattern. Curry's family settled a claim with Letter Ride's insurance firm and didn't file suit. Letter Ride referred a reporter's calls regarding Amazon's call to terminate its contracts to an professional person. United Nations Agency didn't come back a decision seeking comment. Inpax's owner, Dutch Leonard Wright, has run numerous firms within the supply and shipping business since the 90s. Inpax began delivering packages for Amazon in 2015, and Wright has aforesaid that contract brings in 70th of the company's revenue. His firm has shown signs of growing monetary strain for a few time. Within the past many years, Inpax has been sued by workers, lenders and even its own business firm, all of whom claim they weren't properly paid. One of those lawsuits brought against Inpax by workers in Ohio. United Nations Agency claimed they were underpaid is current, and therefore the plaintiff's professional person within the case, Christopher Widow, aforesaid he's considering naming Amazon as a joint leader within the suit. Make no mistake, notwithstanding this development, we area unit going to still pursue these claims smartly till our purchasers and therefore the category they get to represent are paid the wages they're owed, he wrote in an email. In an exceedingly court filing, Inpax denied that it didn't pay wage and overtime. This month, Inpax notified regulators in Georgia, Texas, Ohio, North Geographic Area, FL and Illinois that it had stopped delivery operations for Amazon in those states. Those layoffs were initial according by the Atlanta Business Chronicle and City Business Journal. One driver United Nations Agency recently worked for Inpax aforesaid there was a ton of sadness encompassing the announcement as a result of most of the workers have families and bills. However, two alternative drivers aware of Inpax aforesaid several set off workers area unit already in conversations to be rehired by alternative Amazon delivery contractors operational out of constant warehouses. In keeping with one Inpax worker in North Geographic Area, there's already a brand new contractor poised to require over Inpax's routes. The workers spoke on the condition of namelessness as a result of they need either found work with Amazon or one amongst its contractors or hope to, and feared retribution if they were named. Inpax didn't reply to requests for comment. This is not the primary time Amazon has non-appointive to chop off established delivery corporations on short notice. In early 2016, it cut ties with a Florida-based firm, VHU Supply, but a year once subsidization the corporate its initial routes. The firm had complained that Amazon wasn't paying its invoices on time, leading it to miss payroll for its drivers. That sparked a Department of the Federal Government of Labor investigation that found Amazon bore responsibility for nearly 200 geographic point violations. Once canceling its contract with VHU, Amazon sued the delivery company in an exceedingly bid to recover the rear wages the DAL ordered the web retail merchant to pay and was awarded $296,906 in damages by the court. The two parties ultimately settled the matter. And this past spring, Amazon told the California-based owner of 3 delivery contractors that it'd now not want their services, that the owner aforesaid place 875 drivers out of labor. Once the owner, Thomas Burr Genus, complained, he aforesaid Amazon created a proposal of $400,000 as a part of a separation agreement, later raised to $800,000, in exchange for language a non-disclosure agreement and walking away. Chen, United Nations agency, had taken delivery on over 100 new vans simply weeks before being told he was being stopped, refused the provide and sued Amazon. Court records show the corporate has not nevertheless more responsible that grievance.